let's go and move forward from this aerodrome. Yeah, that I agree with. They could have shown, other than just the ending scene, maybe a push and pull between Luke. Sky Seed of Bujerba.
The Lusu mines are just up ahead. Though, I do hear there's not much left there these days.
You're on your way to the mines? Then please allow me to accompany you. I have an errand to attend to there.
What manner of errand?
What errand? I might ask the same of you.
Right. Come on then.
What?
Excellent.
Do me a favor and stay where I can keep my eye on you. Should be less trouble that way.
For us both.
So what's your name?
Oh, I'm Lamont.
Don't worry. I don't know what's in that mine, Lamont, but you're in good hands. Right, Bosch?
Lamont John's party. There was a reflection in this. Yeah, I said what I said before I read that part. Yeah, instead of this end screen in the end. Yeah, sure. I mean, again, this is all retrospective, though. It's applying what is considered good writing today versus during the time it was made. I feel like that's a bit of a unfair way of doing retrospective reviews, if you will. It's just a lot of material now to compare it to that some parts don't hold up. But if you're just following story arc and character development, I think it's so far from a Mary Sue, because Mary Sue doesn't even have character development. There is no arc. Like, even if it's like the worst writing, but it has a character arc, it is still a character arc that actually lends itself to making a character from one thing to another. Blizzard. Yeah, I guess when it comes to this, it is more of like just a cinema thing, a writing thing. If we're sticking to that, sure. But then again, if we're gonna go by just characterization and what we got and a character arc, it does not result or conclude to a Mary Sue. That's all I'm saying. Was it the best writing? Could they have done better with showing that this was actually monumental to someone's growth? Sure, definitely. It is very glossed over. Yes, like I said, that's something I could get behind. But the whole Mary Sue thing, not so much, because it does not follow. If we're gonna go by like which characters we do consider Mary Sue today. If there was like a criteria, it does not fill it, is what I'm saying. Actually, I forgot. Maybe we could buy a shield there. Do have more stuff. Is it locked? Okay, these places are locked. Svecatum, welcome. Armor, not arm. What? Welcome. Armor, not arms, is what we sell. Battle takes more than just a blade. Oh, there we go. We were looking for something like this. You can wear this. Oh, no one can. Only Fran. Plus 3. Is that good? We'll give that about here. Who has this right now? Okay. Battle harness. Automatically counter with weapon in hand. That's pretty nice. Wait. Do you have this? Oh, that's a very unfair comparison, I think, Cohen. Peter Parker has so many source material to work with. That is, I wouldn't compare comics to just, if we're just gonna look at original trilogy, 3 films, right? Not anything else. And compare it to a comic character, anything is gonna fall short. It's gonna fall short. That's why I say any random. It's gonna fall short. Best leave comic characters out of that, because in a different like category, because any character will fall short because of just so much source material. We need to like stick it to like one category, I suppose. Battle harness. Do I have that? Battle harness. Luke Skywalker and Star Wars as a whole also has influence in a can of source material, even if it's not direct. And a can of source material. I mean, yeah, oh yeah, of course, yeah, for sure. But I mean, if we're just gonna talk about what we see, because that's the thing, right? Since you're making the stance that there are things that you don't see and that doesn't count as to its character, or it doesn't add to the character, makes him a Mary Sue. Then we're also just gonna go by what we know of Peter Parker as itself. But how are we gonna do that if we're not gonna stick to just one source material or a particular group of source material, which is kind of hard to do with a comic character. So it's not a 1:1 thing. Pick a random one. Like if you took the Sam Raimi, but that's the thing, right? You're gonna pick the Sam Raimi films, for example. It is based on an already established character. They don't really give something there that isn't already an information out there. While you got a character that was really made for film, and that's it. It is the film. If we're talking about two different things right now. If we're talking about just like film, it is a very self-contained film. The Raimi films are good, yes. But if we're talking about characterization, if we're calling someone a character outside of the realms of just the... So if you're calling character Mary Sue, we're not talking about the confines of the medium now. We're talking about characterization in their arcs. We're no longer talking about source material here. We're just talking about characters and what they're about. Wait, this game looks like fun? Yeah, it is a little thing. Welcome in. But yeah. But they're made good enough that you can show up and have knowledge. You know, oh yeah, see, here's the thing going. Yeah, that's the thing. We are now talking about two different things here. If we're talking about like, I was not defending the stance of like it's a film as a standalone film, whether it's good film, like if will it stand the test of like analyzing it, like really thinking about plot elements, characterizations, all the things that make a film a good film. I wouldn't say like Star Wars is not that. It is not. It just isn't. But since we're going back to what we were talking about, just calling Luke per se, let's stick to that, Mary Sue, then we're no longer talking about just the film and how it was made. We're talking about a character per se. And again, like I said, it doesn't fit what is defined as a Mary Sue, because he does have a character arc, even if we say it's a poor one in a film writing standpoint. For Star Wars, you can simply know nothing because people know Flash Gordon, Aerospace Opera, and let's stay away from that. Again, it's we're being all over the place now, Cole. We gotta focus on one topic, and let's go back to the Mary Sue thing. That's that. Just that. And if you do look at the Sam Raimi films, yeah, you can enjoy it as it is. But if we're gonna look at the character as Peter Parker, it is just a good character by itself. Like, it has been explored so many times, and how I don't have to explain that. People who know Spider-Man, it is what it is. Spider-Man's similarly famous, but there's so much more there, even if you grab random ones. Again, like I said, if we were just sticking by the films here, because you're basically saying now that Peter Parker in any medium is a good representation of someone who's not a Mary Sue. Is that what you're saying now, Cohen? Again, we gotta stick to one topic here, because we're going all over the place. I think I've made my points pretty clear. We're talking about just the discussion of someone being a Mary Sue. Both Peter Parker and Luke are not. But again, you're not talking about who's better, because we've already established that how Luke could have been written could have been better. Sure, even a bad Spider-Man canon than Luke in nearly every Star Wars. We're not discussing who's a better character in general. We're talking about why Luke is not a Mary Sue. Because that's the only thing I responded to initially. Sell my wares to the mines. With the mines closed, Mrs. Small, shall I say it? Dad, take a look, won't you? Okay, you don't need that. Dude, what? Bosch is the highest level one we have? I guess it wouldn't matter if Luke wasn't such an important character in history, sometimes due to the importance of Star Wars. It would matter? Oh, you mean who's better? Again, we're now talking about a different topic. What are we talking about now, Colin? What are we talking about? Let's start with that.
The Lusu mines, one of the richest veins in Evilise.
Under Imperial Guard, no doubt.
Actually, no. With but few exceptions, the Imperial Army is not permitted within Bujerba. Well, shall we proceed?
Bujerba, the way he says it is very emphasized. But if you're saying because of the like pop culture relevance of Luke and not being written so well, that's you're saying that it's sad that that's the case. Then yeah, sure. Again, I said that's fine. That like it is what it is. But again, if we're going back to the previous topic we were discussing, which is about him being a Mary Sue, that it just doesn't fit. That's all I'm saying. Whether because he's like a popular character, it could have been better. I agree. Could have been, should have been, for sure. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, then in agreement with that one, with that last one. But again, Mary Sue.
You will forgive me for asking, but you are diverting the purest of the Magicite.
I can assure you it reaches Lord Vane most discreetly.
Ha! You wear your saddle well.
Be that as it may, I have no intention of being bridled, Your Honor.
Then you prefer the whip? Stubbornness will see not only you broken, Excellency, but Bujerba as well.
Halim Ondor IV, the Marquis of Bujerba. The Marquis served as mediator at the negotiations of Damascus' surrender. It would appear that he is somewhat less neutral now.
They say he's been helping the resistance.
They say many things.
You're certainly well informed. Who did you say you were again?
What difference does it make? We have to find Penelo.
And Penelo is your...
She's a friend. She was kidnapped and taken here.
Lusu Mines? Yeah. This is gonna be a very important place later. So in terms of all characters, including ones written by Mid-Schoolers or Fabric, that isn't, but in terms of extremely important media, yes. We're going back to that again. Again, if in the, like I said, and what you also said, character is lacking. If you're gonna talk about his like relevance in the whole pop culture world and whether he's lacking in like being a good character, then sure, like it could be better. But like, just by sticking by the definition of calling a character Mary Sue, I don't think there's like a classification to that. There's no like mid-schooler fanfiction, professional fanfiction, or sorry, mid-schooler fanfiction versus actual canonical professional work. Mary Sue just means one thing, or at least it portrays or conveys or refers to one general idea, which is someone that's just overpowered, has no character development arc, and maintains that for the whole, basically a very boring, dull character. No major events or anything like that that shapes that character. That is the definition, or like an oversimplified definition of that, regardless of who makes that work, whether it is some kid just making up stories or a professional writer in Hollywood. I don't think, I guess that's the difference of what we're talking about then, because like, I mean, that's where it sort of like diverged, because it seems like you have a categorized definition of what Mary Sue can apply to, and to me, it applies to any fictional work. So yeah, there's a very huge disconnect there. If you're gonna categorize everything based on its merits, like who creates the works, then I feel like that's like a very different discussion then. I hope you understood what I meant. It's gonna be like very categorized in such a way, the way you put it. That's not the same as saying outright that Luke or any character, they're Mary Sue, because for this group of audience, this demographics, this kind of work, this quality of work, they're Mary Sue. I think that can apply to any character regardless of quote-unquote quality. Spider-Man doesn't suffer for the same problem. He's a cliche at this point too. It's because of his characterization has to do with actually containing actually relatable things that the writers have come up with that fit currency. Yeah. Again, we're going back to what I was saying. The whole thing that you're saying about actually containing actual relatable things. That's the thing, right? When you've got that rich source of material to work with that they've developed over decades, it's easy to say that. This is why it's really hard to compare the two. Even if you say the films are self-contained, it is based on a source material so rich with so many things that are already involved, versus 3 films that was written directly for film, which is Star Wars originally, not including the books and the whatever comics that are tied to it nowadays. I think Luke's development is cliche compared to Spidey, even though there's more Spidey. Even though there's more Spidey, because what? Even though there's more Spidey, because Luke doesn't have other interesting qualities out of Power Fantasy, not particularly funny or cool, or even fun the way some characters are fun to be like Han. Okay, I'll assume that we're discussing something different now, which is just the character itself and defining and what's not to like about it. For sure. I mean, I think like even in this game, if you're comparing a Han Solo to Baltier is the more interesting character, and I will agree. But look at all Star Wars hits of all Space Wars and Westerns. Again, we gotta stick to the confines of what we're talking about. It is easy to say that it's the biggest property now, but you have to remember these films were made in 1977, 1983. Within that confines, did they make the best character possible? Probably not. So in retrospect now, because it's the biggest property, is it the best character? No. But to say Mary Sue, it just doesn't fly. Again, back to the semantics. If we're gonna categorize it based on quality of work, I don't know. I've never even thought of doing that. If someone's a Mary Sue, someone's a Mary Sue. No matter who writes it or creates it, or no matter how many source material there is, or how many chapters, how many films, someone's a Mary Sue, someone's a Mary Sue. This conversation my jam. Appreciate it, Lizzie. Yeah, this is just a healthy debate. I think appreciate Cohen bringing some thoughts that I didn't think about, but I feel like there's a disconnect with like what we're classifying here, because again, it was brought up right now that since the whole fan fiction thing and all that stuff, there's a ranking or like classification of which one is a Mary Sue based on what exposure that work has for it. So if it's like someone just if it's someone that a kid just came up with compared to a Hollywood product, I've never like really thought of it that way. It's more of like if someone's a Mary Sue, there usually just is.
Yeah.
That's why Star Wars like cultural crack is taking from the whole passive space, more Western road movies. But yeah, I mean, it did become a hit for a good reason. I wouldn't say it became a great hit because of Luke, so that I could definitely say. It's because of the whole embodiment of the saga is what makes it great. Characters, events, and everything involve cinema, like in lore wise and outside, which is, you know, that's the film quality itself, the things that are outside the merits of the story itself. I think characters like Luke inspired people to make worse Mary Sue. Again, I don't think Luke's a Mary Sue, but Rey is definitely. Rey is not a new Luke. Well, it is, because that's like the role of for the sequels. But Rey is just a Mary Sue, period. Wait, actually, should we bring Bosch out? Mary Sue came from Star Trek, with those people worlds is 5 stars. What? Mary Sue came from Mary Sue, the character Mary Sue, isn't it? That's why it's called a Mary Sue.
Yeah.
That didn't originate from Star Trek. Actually, let's test out. It's from Star Trek fanfic originally. There was a spool fanfic, so I made to make fun of people's overly perfect characters. Oh, I see. I can't speak for that, but if we're gonna talk about the definition by itself, just and again, I really don't see how Luke is a Mary Sue. Lacks characterizations and qualities that make a very great character, perhaps. But that's very different from someone being overpowered and like just no character arc whatsoever. I'll check that out later then. Go on. What's the link? What's that link? What's that video? Oh my god, why did you step on it? I thought they'd be smarter than that. There was like a trap in the middle of the road. And Lamont died. Dumbass. History of Mary Sue's. Alright. Is Luke in there? I'm highly confident he isn't. I'm just kidding. That's a hot take, Cohen. I think it's a very hot take. That's a very unpopular opinion, I feel. And I will not have blasphemy. No, I'm kidding. You're allowed to have your opinions, of course. I'm just making the points that point toward why it isn't one. Luke might not be, but he planted the seeds of Proto Mary Sue. Wow. As long as he isn't one. I don't care if people thought that they just think, oh, let's make a Luke carbon copy and let's see, make him more powerful. That's no longer on Luke, man. That's just bad writers. I could take that. If it's a proto, not an actual one, then sure. We'll leave it at that. I could settle for that. If this was a law settlement, I could settle for that. Okay, everyone stop. You see that trap? Don't cross it. Wait, how? Oh my god. How do I have... I don't know if Mr. Jones is still here. You can't have your party members stop, right? I guess you can disarm it. I don't remember how to do that. Is there a way to disarm it? Don't walk over it. Think by drastically lowering the standard of sci-fi characterization, Mary Sue Reborn. Oh, that definitely is the case there. But, you know, again, that's more of like a writer's problem rather than a character that was made before it a problem, you know. That's essentially like blaming every character that's ever been made prior if they were bad. And then it just so happens it became popular, became the basis, became the main peg. I mean, the writers, creators just have to be better than. That's just shifting the blame, and they should just do better if that's the case. Numerology. What's that? Is that an armor? An item? What is? Oh, it's an item? Numerology. Oh, it's an ability. Deal damage that increases with successive hits. Huh. Forgot that. Don't know what that is. Please be smart and not walk in the trap. Okay, no, they're stupid. Okay, so Vaughn should stop stealing. Oh wait. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh wait, no. Replace this one, sure. This one over this one. Yeah, there we go. I think a big part of the Mary Sue is being an insert character. Luke is meant to be an insert character for the target demographic of the film. Going from Hasty Zero to all powerful space raiders is what they're banking on selling the merchandise with. Huh? Isn't that not a Mary Sue then? Hasty Zero to all powerful space wizard is not a definition of a Mary Sue though. This is the best way to go about character arc. Again, like I said, no. But on paper, that doesn't sound to me like a Mary Sue. People who use that framework and then make someone out of it a Mary Sue, that's their fault. Same with like Harry Potter. Are you gonna now claim that Harry Potter is a Mary Sue? Because he is not, but he does have a lot of plot armor, that I will say. He's never been like shown to be actually, to be honest, actually I feel like Harry Potter was not shown enough to be capable throughout the films. There was a lot of like luck involved, a lot of like off-screen things that happened. Well, not off-screen, but like it is explained, but like it's a lot of a passive protagonist, if you will, right? There are a lot of things that happens to him that has nothing to do with his own actions, but things that happen because of either his parents, badly written books in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, oh, are you referring to Harry Potter, Lizzie? I mean, I won't disagree with you. I have not read the books. I wouldn't know. But basing it on the films, like, there are definitely, I would consider Harry a passive protagonist just based on what happens to him instead of like his own actions. That makes him like powerful and stuff. HP sucks. I see. Power Fantasy is going from nothing to finding out your secret wizard powers. It's very different though, Cohen. I hope you're not comparing Harry to like the Luke discussion we're having, because that's super. We're not, that's gonna make it even way off. Harry Potter has more characterization based on sheer workout source material, but the overall premise is a Mary Sue. Huh. I don't think Harry's a Mary Sue though. I think you have a very different definition of Mary Sue though, Cohen. I feel like this is a very... The things you're saying are very unpopular opinion-ish. He has a lot of plot armor. That's not the definition of Mary Sue as well. You could complain about a character having so many things that are luck-based or circumstantial. But that, if anything, Harry is shown to be incompetent rather than a Mary Sue. You have a very different definition of Mary Sue, Cohen, I think. And that is very hard to like discuss then, if that's the case. Anyone in chat right now? Do you want to like chime in? Do you think Harry Potter is a Mary Sue? I feel like it is far from, because he's not the most capable wizard throughout. If anything, Hermione is even way better than him. But even Hermione is not shown to like exceed, like super exceed beyond the like realms of like a supposed what student versus someone who's supposed to be like a full-fledged wizard. Character isn't a living person, they're trying to be written that way. Choosing to write them as someone that goes from normal to the most powerful is a mercy thing. I think if we're talking about any fiction, that statement doesn't hold weight much going. All of this is fictional. You can't go by the thing that they're not living characters, that's why hence blah blah blah. I've seen that kind of like statements before and I never understood it, because it is, when we're talking about fictional, we remove that element out of the way because we know we're talking about something that is not real. So it has nothing to do with, you know, like, we're just gonna talk about something that's not real and isn't living, but anything that along those lines. I feel like it has no place for any discussion of this sort. It's like propaganda, still propaganda. It's effective. People believe and defend it. Now I'm just dying because of you, Cohen. Power fantasy characters like narrative junk food. I mean, you could argue every fictional property is. That's kind of the point of it, right? It is an entertainment, a source of entertainment. It just depends on what people like, I suppose. The fact that there's people who are better that Harry still manages to supersede the just feeds the power fantasy. Oh, in that case, like I said, yeah, it does seem like someone's incompetent. I'd call that plot armor, Cohen. I wouldn't call that Mary Sue. A Mary Sue has to be like visibly better than someone with no particular reason. Harry was never shown to be better than anyone. Maybe Voldemort at the end, but then that was explained. Again, very different definition of Mary Sue here. Can't take the story at its work in terms of the fiction. It's more meaningful to examine the intentions of the writer and the effects of those writing choices. Yes, of course, but plot armor is very far from Mary Sue. Spice is a good example. That's why being superpowered, he still managed to take L's as far as anyone, even worse than anyone. Hey, Wonko. Welcome back, I suppose. Was the dentist appointment done? We're having a lengthy discussion here about what is considered a Mary Sue. Hopefully you can chime in as well. It was so rough. I hope you're not feeling bad though. Writers choose to give them plot armor. It's not like they just have it naturally from God. Yes, indeed. Yes, I completely agree. But that does not make someone a Mary Sue though. Going. Someone being a Mary Sue is also... that's the thing about making... If you're gonna make it... It's the argument that a writer gives them that. A writer also gives them the capability of being a good character. The same way a writer can also make someone a Mary Sue. In this case, they didn't make Harry Potter a Mary Sue. They made him very incompetent, actually. Being uncomfortable with how's the game? It's going well so far. I think the discussion is more interesting than the game right now. What is a what? What is your definition of a Mary Sue? No, actually, no. Don't define it. I feel like that's gonna be a long conversation. Do you consider Harry Potter a Mary Sue? Let's start with that one. I mean, again, Cohen, yes, he is like a chosen one, and that's a common like fictional trope. Again, not a Mary Sue though. But let's get some thoughts here, and hopefully Lizzie, maybe you have some thoughts on it as well. Maybe your idea of what a Mary Sue is. So you mean to say everything that's a chosen one is a Mary Sue then? I would say Neo, Matrix. Okay, Uncle is a bigger fan of Matrix. Maybe she can answer this. I think Neo is a bigger Mary Sue than Harry Potter and Luke Skywalker. Neo is like commentary on that stuff. No, let's not take the commentary nature of Matrix and then apply it to the character. That's unfair. One Punch Man is, I think, that's if that's the case. Although Neo dies at the end, I think a character dying doesn't constitute someone not being a Mercy or not. This is an event. Well, Matrix kind of is that. I kind of agree with. But then, in that argument, then Cohen, everything that has a chosen one thing is automatically a Mary Sue for you. But that, again, I don't think that applies to everything. This is one degree of narrative conceit. Sorry, what's narrative concept, you mean? You were saying something, Cohen? I think you misspelled something. It's not a face value character like Lucas. Way more meta stuff happening. No, I'm just providing it as an example, not to be taken in all facets. And what I'm saying now is essentially every chosen one trope is essentially a Mary Sue for you. But yes, well, that's the thing then. If that's the thing, then this is the end of this discussion, Cohen. Because that encapsulates like a lot of fiction, and that there's no point to go on from there, which I don't think applies to everything. I think don't know well enough to speak confidently. I was just thought Mary Sue was a self-insert, kind of over the top, powerful super. Yeah, it is. That is the definition of it, while also not having a viable justification as to why that character is that powerful. And that's what we're trying to talk about here. Although Neo dies at the end, also not young, he's a jaded adult. My part is a flawed individual, it's not without flaw, and because he's his parents dead, however, it does give him strength at the end. Yeah, exactly. And even then, even if they give it enough power or whatever, he's still pretty incompetent as a wizard, I have to say. He's not really given any chance to show his being super powered. Okay, you got the Google in now. Definition of Mary Sue. Mary Sue is a type of fictional character, usually a young woman, is portrayed as a relatively free of weaknesses. Originating in fanfiction, Mary Sue is often authors idealized self. Okay. Again, I think Cohen has a different definition of I think I missed some stuff there. Why are there enemies not running out here? Are we supposed to move on? I think I've been fighting these guys for so long now. It's the most ridiculous character quality you can think of? Well, yeah, Lizzie, I think you got it right there, the definition. Basically erodes all stakes and makes conflict basically impossible when it's chosen. That pretty much applies to any protagonist going, unless we're talking about epics like Game of Thrones, for example, where even then, even Game of Thrones is subject to that. I don't think that you can remove that from any kind of fiction. Someone's bound to be a hero, regardless if they die or not. You could apply that logic of stakes being eroded just because someone is a main character. I'm just gonna move on. I feel like the enemies don't run out. Yeah. They're chosen, their success is preordained, so there's no struggle if there is. But then Neo dies. Technically fails, but his failure is a success. Hopefully does not. Well, actually, the dying is a spoiler. Sorry for anyone. I try my best to not spoil, but Cohen is really making it hard for me not to spoil movies right now, because I have to draw in from examples to make my stances here, which I appreciate. I do like the back and forth, but we're definitely having some differences in semantics and definitions here, and that is giving this whole discussion it's all over the place now. Yeah, it isn't. Yeah, I'm quite aware. I'm really well versed with the Matrix as well, because that it technically isn't, and it's more of we don't need to go because it's spoiler territory. You know what I'm talking about. Yes, he isn't, but he is. But still, if we're looking at the context of the film, technically there's no stakes. If we're gonna talk about main character-ish, whatever, because they succeed at the end, blah blah blah. But then that's like every fiction in everything. No one just ends a fiction and just everyone dies or everyone loses. Or even if there is, it's so rare. Usually find that like horror films maybe. So I feel like the whole erodes the stakes is not really... That applies to a lot of things, is what I'm saying. Universal Century Gundam has entered the chat. I'm not RM time. Or is this the RM one? We are in the Lusu Mines. Rachel, welcome in. Rachel, we probably have a good opinion in this. We're having a discussion right now, a very, very elaborate discussion. I have to start painting my miniatures. Alright, you gotta lurk. Hopefully you can answer one thing though before you completely go lurky lurk. If you're still there. Also, we need to be able to spend our reality to a certain degree to enjoy storytelling and works of fiction. Yeah, that's I also brought that up earlier. Definitely. But putting that aside though, because Cohen is claiming that Harry Potter is a Mary Sue, Luke Skywalker is a Mary Sue. Yeah, I'll do well. Read the above. Anyway, because the main character's role is oh my god, why didn't they walk on that? Yeah, I have to read back actually. I mean, I guess if you think of it that way, Jesus won't be a Mary Sue because he dies too. Of course, it's not the basis of anything. The death is not. But then, like, since you brought up stakes, though his chosen still manages to have more depth in characters despite even inventing the Jesus character trope. Neo. Because the main character's role is unrelatable, it's difficult to know whether we could rise above and triumph against all odds. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I got it now. Wonkle. I also think that people mention Mary Sue, they're like picking on young girls who... Oh, I'm definitely not referring to... I'm just using the term Mary Sue here as the term. Definitely doesn't matter who the character is, whether it's a female or not. But like in this case, because you were claiming that, again, Harry Potter as an example, or Luke, which I feel like are two characters, although Harry has more plot armor than Luke ever did, are not Mary Sue's. Far from. I also think the people, okay. Picking on young girls or new writers who are just copying a larger cultural phenomenon, so it doesn't make sense to pick out literal Mary Sues that kids make as amateurs, and very, very similar things happen in real writing. I think that's a different discussion now. Going. This is not literally Mary Sue, does it? It's not very similar in terms of why Mary Sues are not good characters. So now we're from talking about someone being a Mary Sue, we're now talking about elements of a Mary Sue. That's gonna be hard to reconcile now. Again, we're back to the categorizations.
This is what I came here to see.
What's that?
It's nethicite, manufactured nethicite.
Nethicite?
Unlike regular magicite, nethicite absorbs magical energy. This is the fruit of research into the manufacture of nethicite. All at the hands of the Draclaw Laboratory. So this is where they're getting the magicite.
Errand all attended to, then?
Thank you. I'll repay you shortly.
No, you'll repay us now. We have too much on our hands to go on holding yours. So, where did you hear this fairy tale about nethicite? And where did you get that sample you carry? What do you know about the Draclaw Laboratories? Tell me, who are you?
Balthier.
You kept us waiting, Balthier. You slipped away in Albina. We missed you. First the
Probably.
judge and now this boy. The whole affair has a smell of money about it. I may have to wet my beak a little.
Keep your snout in the trough where it belongs. This thinking ill befits you, Begamnon.
Balthier. Too long have I gone unpaid. I'll carve my bounty out of that boy.
Where's Pinello? We're taking her back.
The girl? Why keep the bait when you've landed the fish? We cut her loose on the way here and then off she ran crying like a babe.
Hey!
I could face them, but
After them!
I feel like I can't take them on. I feel like I'm gonna die.
Hey, wait up!
We'll not be able to take them all. Fight who we must, leave the rest.
I don't want to face them all, but I think they're a tough fight. Okay. Term is actually associated with fan fiction and true writers. It's where the term originates from. Disagreeing characters like Luke and Harry, Errand, Marisu, I think is only permissible on the basis of being very specific in semantics, since most Marisus are directly inspired by Luke and Harry type characters. Well, that we can agree on. Oh, someone died? Wait, how come? Oh, one of my companions are gone. I don't think we can face this, and then I'm gonna run. Yeah, I disagree as well, Uncle Tom. But with regards to like semantics, it is clear. Oh, I died. Okay. This is all Cohen's fault. This run, yeah. It's fine. We had an autosave there, I think. Just run. Mr. Jones just keeping quiet during the discussion. I mean, it's clear the semantics is really what's being a problem here. Going, no argument there. I was doing work. No worries, no worries. I was just saying, that wasn't a jab at you, Mr. Jones. I was just saying that there was a lengthy discussion about Mary Sue's. Maybe you had input on that. No worries, though. There's a really nice dagger up ahead before where you meet the losers. Alright, I will check it out. Okay, sure. I will look at it. Disagree, main characters and plot runs around. Yes. We can throw around names like Luke Skywalker Harry Potter because it's popular culture for us. Just amazed at how fast my text manages to go to Twitch, go to the films, and then go to my screen in like a few seconds. Technology. Yeah, that is the beauty of this whole thing, to be honest. I'm basically talking to people across the world. It's not a guaranteed drop. Okay, no worries. But even as a Mary Sue. According to the definition, you can scroll up maybe, or just the Google thing. I think that's the perfect definition. But basically, it's, at least to me, it's an overpowered person that has no justification for it. To oversimplify it, no character arc whatsoever. Here. If character made the image of Harry and Luke as Mary Sue, then what is Harry and Luke? Again, this is back to what we were talking about, right? Just because you fashion something, you know, you base a creation on something, does not make that particular creation the product of what you did. That's a problem of that creator of whatever you're talking about. You get what I'm saying? Captain Marvel for the films, I guess, not for like the comic. But yeah, I guess that could count. Did she have any weaknesses for that film? I feel like she was a bit overpowered. But yeah, Cohen, if you're saying if your fashion or their image was based on Harry and Luke, that essentially makes the product that if something that was based on Mary Sue is a Mary Sue, or if you're okay, let's be a bit specific here. If you made a character and so everyone calls it a Mary Sue, and you say it's based on this character A and your creation is character B, I don't think that is it's super not connected there. There's a disconnect there. Someone's creation is not an indicator of a predecessor being a Mary Sue. Yes, they were influenced by elements that are present in Harry and Luke, but then it is the responsibility of whoever created that to have made a better character that's not... Because the thing is, someone has to be claiming that this new character is a Mary Sue to begin with, right? For someone to have claimed that, there's something inherently wrong with this new creation. You're not blaming the predecessor because someone created a Mary Sue, is my point. Keep going the wrong way, yeah, figured. Going here is distracting me. You need to appreciate if a character is fundamentally flawed and multifaceted. They're therefore relatable. Yes, the audience. Isn't it this one? It was that one, right? Oh, no. I did get all the treasure chests a while ago, Mr. Jones. Handkerchief. Oh, this one, Assassin's Dagger. Is that it? Is that it? Boom. Nice. Wow, it has Death Touch? Okay. Time to not die in this encounter then. Wow. Or should I save? I'll just save. Let's just... Oh no, it's so far though. Save point so far. Let's just run. It's a 10% rate. Wow. It's a good thing we died then. That's a nice one. And a nice color as well. Nice design. Okay. Wait. Let me think here for a moment. I'll get back to you, Cohen. Cause we need to be like smart or just run, right? Just run. Okay, we'll just run. Let's just do that. Here's another. Sorry. Someone can be influenced by Spidey if they were making something like similar.
This is what I came here to see.
No, that doesn't follow. That doesn't follow, Cohen.
What's that?
It's nethicite, manufactured nethicite.
If I made, I'll just let them
Unlike regular
say
magicite,
stuff first.
nethicite absorbs
actually,
magical energy. This is the fruit of research into the manufacture of
I could skip this since I already got this a while ago.
nethicite.
Okay, we could skip this and just run.
Hey, wait up!
We'll not be able to take them all. Fight who we must, leave the rest.
It doesn't follow, Cohen. If I let's just for the sake of the hypothetical situation, I make Spidey Cohen, Spidey Baltier, character based on Spidey. They could pretty much be a Mary Sue still because I made a character that can count under that umbrella. You see what I'm trying to say earlier? It does not. Okay, do we move over there? Or okay. Let's not mess this up now. You could still come up with a Mary Sue there. Here's another definition. An idealist character is talented and everything, has no meaningful flaws, but you have a tragic backstory. There we go. Again. Cohen. Difference in semantics here. I think we're having a very... I think this is the one going to see mainly. People who make Mary Sues are inspired by Harry and Luke type characters are talking power fantasy elements, but they lack the finesse to make a character that has many defense against argument. They are MS. Every isekai anime main character is a Marisu then. Yes. I think there are a lot of Marisus in anime in general, Mr. Jones. But then we're not, I guess we're not touching that aspect because I think that's a common trope. But like when it comes to like other popular media, I suppose. And it's a cliche many authors use, especially in anime. Oh right, we're on the same page, Wonko, before I read that one. Horrify is him taking L's though. That's Tingle Twin's character. That's again, we're back to the source material here. It's hard to compare comic characters to like film alone characters. If we're just gonna talk about original trilogy, and then we're gonna talk about Sam Raimi film, which is based on comics, then you're just gonna show some L's there. But then even then, it's so few though in those films alone, so you can't.
It would not seem they follow. We've lost them.
You have
Much
to take
more running about with Bunga at my heels, and I'm apt to give up sky pirating altogether.
You have to take into account the source material when it comes to that. Okay. This is a nice dagger. Thanks for the heads up, Mr. Jones. It's fine as like normal ass province. Again, that's just being the nature of that's very different now. We're talking about a space opera versus a superhero operating within the confines of humanity. That's very different. You can't talk about. We're now going back again with what we were talking about earlier, which is Spidey a better character? Sure, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about who are Mary Sue's. and that they just don't fit. Luke and Harry just doesn't fit. If we're gonna talk about how relatable Spidey is, you won't hear any argument from me because again, even biased or not, since Spidey is a favorite superhero of mine, that's not it's not the discussion we're having right now. It's the nature of the characters is he's a good character. He is a good character, exactly. Just as Luke is a good character as well. Is he better than Spidey? Probably not. Is he one of the top there, over there somewhere? No. How is he better than Harry? Harry takes L's too. Yeah, Harry took a lot of L's, exactly. That you're having a different. There's a huge disconnect there. I'm a broken record at this point, Cohen, but I think we will have to agree to disagree with the definition of Mary Sue here. Yours is a very specific, categorized, circumstantial one, which I can get behind based on different situations. But if we're gonna just be basing it on Luke and Harry, they're hardly the Mary Sues, I think. That character comes to mind when people think Mary Sue. Don't attack that one! Oh my god, no! Okay, I blame Cohen again for this one. I blame Cohen. Wait, if that okay, I think we can kill this one. I thought it's gonna be tough. Miss Mary Sue's every daydream I have about being a hero. That's why he lives with his uncle. That having a backstory that's tragic is not. Everyone can have that. This does not support your stance, Cohen. I know Wonko sent a different definition, but going by that, it doesn't really add to anything. Anyone can have a tragic story. How is Spidey a better character though? Okay, and this all the way to the east, there's treasure chest with magic in it. Oh, but I can't. Wait, sorry, Mr. Jones. Can I go there? It's locked up, right? Oh, okay, just north of where you are. This one, right? Did I already get it? Then to the right. I think I already got it. I don't know what I got, but got it. It's supposed to be here, right? Yeah. What was I supposed to get? Magic? Okay. Spidey. Okay, this so different universes, different authors, different audiences, different times releases. Spidey's much better character because he's way more stakes, way more conflicts, way more advice, way more potential. Again, I'm not gonna repeat myself. This is the last time I'm gonna say it, Cohen. Source material. If we're gonna go by that, you're talking about many different source materials here. It's not a fair comparison.
I see you've been out walking without the company of your cortege, Lord Lapse. We caught her wandering out of the mines. You must take care with such undesirables about.
I was kidnapped.
Silence!
If it is a crime to wander on one's own, then I too am guilty. Marquis, I trust that your estate can accommodate another guest.
Why not?
Judge Geese, I shall heed your counsel. I will not travel unaccompanied any longer.
That was unexpected.
Thank you, Penello.
Of course.
What a Giga Chad move.
What's Penello doing? And what's the deal with that Lamont?
That's no Lamont. Larsa Ferinas Solidor, fourth son to Emperor Gramis and brother to Vane.
What? That kid?
Do not worry. I believe he will treat her well.
Nobody knows men like Fran does.
Our purposes lead the same way. To Ondor. We must find means to approach him.
The Marquis is channeling money to organizations opposing the Empire. We'll start there.
I'll be back, chat. Wait, hold on. Let me just find a save. So I did miss some chat there. I will get back to it. Save here. Alright, perfect. Perfect. Just perfect. Oh god. It doesn't even allow me to save. Hold on. I see chat moving.
Marquis Ondor announced my execution 2 years ago. If news of my survival were to spread, the Marquis may find his position compromised.
The men he's been funding bear little love for the Empire. They won't be thrilled to discover that rumors of your death were, in fact, greatly exaggerated. If we were to raise a clamor to that effect, we might just get their attention.
Nothing to it. I'll just go around town spreading the word. How about this?
Press.
I'm Captain Bosch von Rotzenberg of Dalmasca. Well, what do you think?
That certainly qualifies as a clamor. All right, Van, get to it. For the girls' sake, eh? Oh, and the more people around to witness your little performance, the better. If we're going to reach the Marquis, it's up to you. We'll be waiting here if you need us.
Okay. That's an interesting quest. Let's take a save though first. And let's get back to chat. Finally won't get killed by Cohen here. Alright, we'll do the quest after this one. Notoriety 4% is decreasing as we go.